First of all, I got leaked that you were in a Tarantino thing.
If you're in Tarantino's last movie,
that would be very cool.
There's been rumors that Shane Gillis is playing the movie critic.
Like the lead.
And I weirdly think that he fits this role of like movie critic.
Check out Quentin Tarantino's 10th and final movie. I have the lead role in it.
A popular Hollywood rumor claiming Shane Gillis is set to play the lead role in Quentin Tarantino's final film, The Movie Critic, picked up a notable amount of steam online after an editor submission leak, stating a legendary director is gearing up to shoot his next film in the fall, and the script calls for an ensemble. Before the strike, it was rumored that a recent Emmy winner was being considered for a role, but after production was pushed back, that fell through. The famous director has finally found his replacement with this prickly recent SNL host. It's said to be the titular role in the film and will be controversial casting. At first glance, this strangely worded note did not point directly to Shane Gillis, as there's been a few notable actors that have hosted SNL this season. But once it was revealed that Paul Walter Hauser was the recent Emmy winner who dropped the role due to the actors' strike, and that Quentin Tarantino was seeking a leading man around 35 years old, more rumors around Shane Gillis starring as the movie critic began to swirl.
I was doing a pitch for a show for me, and the guy, and the guy brought you up. We're about to like soft pitch.
Bobby, I like this idea, but I'd picture you being more of a Shane Gillis type.
Shane Gillis filling in to play a role that was originally written for Paul Walter Hauser is certainly not a stretch. Shane and Paul have a similar fastball when it comes to sketch comedy, and they possess vaguely familiar looks as big, normal white guys. But this rumor became even more believable once learning about the plot of this movie and its lead role. According to Quentin Tarantino, The Movie Critic is a Los Angeles-based film set in 1977, following a critic who worked for a fictional magazine called The Popstar Pages. The film is based on a guy who really lived but was never really famous and used to write movie reviews for a porn magazine. The critic was very, very funny. He was very rude, you know. He cursed, he used racial slurs, but his shit was really funny. He was rude as hell. As if all these reasons were not convincing enough, Quentin Tarantino has also been very outspoken about his love and passion for the stand-up comedy industry. From sharing stories about his favorite comics on the Joe Rogan Experience to even being a regular patron of the Comedy Store for the past 50 years.
I was there once and they were like, Tarantino was here last night. I was like,
He's in my thing. Did you see?
What?
He's in there. I think it's after the main room set. So I'm coming through and he happened to be in the crowd and he was like, I want to talk to the cool guy. So he caught my set.
What? You're the cool guy?
I'm the cool guy. And I got to talk to Tarantino and he hung out the whole night.
Tarantino's like, I need a guy in my new movie. It's too bad you're not ethnic at all. It's just...
He was watching the Comedy Store documentary and he used to come to the Comedy Store all the time, like in his 20s.
He dated Margaret Cho back in the day, right?
Oh, did he?
I think so, yeah. Like the 90s.
But he was talking about how he saw Kinnison and stuff doing the late night spot and then also like Dice.
Despite all of this information seemingly verifying this rumor, Shane Gillis himself recently debunked the movie critic theory, first by quickly talking about it on his own podcast.
ShaneMGillis.com. Also, check out Quentin Tarantino's 10th and final movie. I have the lead role in it. No, I don't.
Before expanding in more detail after Mark Norman brought it up during Protect Our Parks, where Shane fully shut down his involvement, convincing everyone in the room except Joe.
I don't believe so big now.
I don't believe him.
yeah.
I feel like I'm talking to one of them UFO guys that's bullshitting me.
If I was in the Tarantino movie, I would tell you guys.
son of a bitch.
By the way, I would tell you right away.
Son of a bitch, you're in a
Be the
Tarantino
first thing I
movie.
told you.
I don't believe him at all.
He's not
in
in
the
it.
movie.
I would tell you right away. I'll tell you guys everything. With blabbermouth.
Tarantino's only got one
Tell
movie
you
left.
immediately.
If you're in Tarantino's last movie,
His
son,
final
That would be
movie.
very cool.
Oh, that's
Did you
the
meet with him?
first time I was like,
Did you meet
what
with
the
Tarantino?
fuck?
No.
Did you have any discussions about
I've
it?
never met him in my life.
He
Did you
loves
have discussions
comedy.
about it through
He's the
agents,
man.
through Jews?
Never
Powerful
once.
Jews that are
Jews
cool?
haven't told me anything.
He's the man. I sit
never
down and
will.
talk to him. He's like a legit movie genius.
Even though this rumor has basically been disproven, all this chatter around Shane Gillis potentially being the movie critic might just make Quentin Tarantino want to do it even more just to get a stir out of people during his final film. But either way, I think we can all agree it's pretty cool that Shane Gillis has reached the point in his career where a Hollywood rumor could even be generated using his name in the first place.
And you can act.
Thanks, man.
Guest spots from last week: The Joe Rogan Experience had Protect Our Parks number 11 and Dave Attell and Ian Fidance on the show. Dave and Ian also stopped by Matt and Shane's Secret Podcast, as well as We Might Be Drunk and the Legion of Skanks. Two Bears, One Cave was Bert and Tom, Tom and Bert. Mark Norman and Caitlin Campbell came all over your mom's house. Taste Buds battled Pringles vs. Cheetos. H. Foley was on the way back. Flagrant brought on Little Duval. Are You Garbage had episodes with Sam Talent and Greg Stone. Tom Segura returned to Tiger Belly. And Kill Tony this week featured Mark Norman and Dan Soder.
In the Moment, Wild, the great Jack the Riffer, some people call him. You have a lot of these nicknames, right?
Cal Rifkin Jr., Riffy Longstockings, the boy who riffed.
The Hack Brown Band?
I didn't know, that's not one of them, actually.
Ken Riffy Jr., perhaps?
Ken Riffy Jr., yep.
Yeah.
Who?
Riff Raff?
Riff Raff, yeah.
Choosy Moms Choose Riff?
Yes.
Yeah, riffs, it's what's for dinner. Yeah.
Riffrent strokes for riffrent folks.
That's right, yeah.
This past weekend with Theo Von talked with Drewski. The Tim Dillon Show had on Trevor Wallace. Dan Soder and Peter James Fowler stopped by the Real S podcast. Dave Attell was on Soder. Bert Kreischer went on The Honeydew. Lamorne Morris and Kyle Shivrin were on Whiskey Ginger. Stavi's World welcomed Ian Fidance and Mike Racine. The Blocks podcast had on Bill Burr. First Date featured Jeff Dye. Rick Glassman had Fahim Anwar take his shoes off. And Being Ian with Jordan welcomed Brendan Saglow, Anthony DeVito, and Greg Stone. As far as new stand-up specials are either out right now or coming out soon, the big one this week, and maybe even for this whole spring, is Dave Attell Hot Cross Buns, which is out right now on Netflix. Also out on Netflix is Brian Simpson Live from the Mothership, and out right now on YouTube is Kevin Ryan Live from Philly on the Are You Garbage channel. Dan Rath and Dan St. Germain both have new specials out on the 800-Pound Gorilla channel. Akash Singh Gaslit is out on his channel, and Mike Vecchione, The Worst Kind of Thoughtful, is also out on YouTube, along with Mike Racine, I'm Normal.
I'm glad that joke hit, because you can't do a 9/11 joke anywhere in New York City. You know, if I do that joke in Staten Island, somebody will be like, "Hey, fuck you! My father was a fire truck." So you gotta be selective. You know, you gotta do it here, or like Philadelphia's a good place for that joke, because they'll be like, "Yeah, fuck them towers, yo." Honestly.
We also have a few specials in the works right now that will be coming out soon, starting off with Dimitri Martin, Dimitri Deconstructed, which will be out on Netflix April 2nd. Neil Brennan, Crazy Good is set to premiere on Netflix April 9th. Jimmy Carr is also returning to Netflix with Natural Born Killer on April 16th, and Andrew Youngblood's new special will be out on Mark Norman's YouTube channel on March 28th. Other than that, you still have one more week to take part in the 2024 Comedy Podcast March Madness Tournament happening right here on Joke World. We started this year with 32 podcasts, and after 2 rounds of voting, there's been some massive upsets heading into the Elite 8, like Lemon Party taking down Rogan and the Adam Friedland Show knocking off this past weekend. If you want to get involved in the madness right now, check out the voting link in the description of this video. This is the 3rd year in a row that we've done this Joke World Comedy Podcast March Madness Tournament, and I'm not even just saying this is the craziest one by far. We have the most people voting, we have the most upsets, so go tap in right now with the link in the description. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be back again next week with some more comedy news. But in the meantime, there's going to be a Bill Burr top 5 roast video on the end screen right after this. I dare you to press it. Click it. Watch it. I dare you to press it.
At Joke World. That's it, at Joke World.
And the world is WRLD.
That's a great YouTube channel, Joke World. Check it out.